The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, good morning, peeps. We're at 8 o'clock. We'll start the meeting. We've got about half the people who registered in attendance. Maybe some others will come along. So we'll get started. We have, as always, Mark helping us. Good morning, Mark. Good afternoon, Mark.
Hello, everybody.
You're well, I guess, I hope.
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. And we have, I can't unmute him. Matthew is with us as well. He was going to say hello, but Matt, if you can hear me, your microphone is muted at your end, so you can't speak unless you do that. So between the three of us, we will get through the next hour and a half or so. As always, if you've got questions, pop them in the questions panel. Mark will keep an eye on that. And if you would rather ask a question verbally, let him know and we can unmute you and you can ask your question that way. I don't know how long today will take. It's a continuum from last week. I suspect it'll be a similar amount of time, maybe even longer. We'll see how we go around about the 50-minute mark and see where I'm at. And if I feel we're going to be another 50 minutes or so, we will take a break at that point for 5 or so minutes to get a coffee, toilet break, etc. Then come back because I do want to get through everything we've got planned for today so that we can then plan for the next one. All right, so where do we start? We will start with, I'll ask you guys, did you all, every time you got up in the morning this week, ask yourself conditional questions? Is it 7 a.m.? Yes, get out of bed. Is coffee machine on? Yes, drink coffee. If the answer to that question is no, kick dog, yell at wife, go buy flowers, apologise to wife. That's my routine every morning. My day depends on whether the coffee machine is on or not. All right, I want to start with going back on a couple of small things from last week because I had an email through the week and I've forgotten, I beg your pardon, who was it that sent the email? I didn't recognise your name then. But somebody emailed me and wanted to look again quickly at how I did the pausing of a job without doing it through TSIOS, and can that be done automatically by a date? And the answer is yes and yes. So let's have a look at that first, and then we'll spend a bit of time looking at one of those hooky customization jobs before launching into the new stuff for this week. So what the person who emailed me was asking to look at was how we did, I'll put in the key, how we did that. So this was a scenario where you've done your identify ordering, your pre-ordering, say, before the photography day, then the night before photography, the morning, the day, whenever, that's up to you. You stop the job, download all your orders, then you're going to go do the photography and work with the images, get everything done and matched, and then several days later, repost the job with the images. And in the meantime, if anybody comes to the site to order with their individual key, Stefan's individual key happens to be Hard Rock, that's a coincidence, they would see this message and don't see any of their packages and can't order. So how did we do that in a little bit more detail? Well, it was actually quite simple. There were two things to it. When we paused the job, and the job was this one, we just flipped to an offer called pause job, no packages. So that offer has no packages. That's exactly the idea. That job has, that offer has no packages. That's why you're not seeing any packages. No magic, no conditions in there. It's just simply that the offer has no packages. So that's that side of it. Why did we not see any packages? Because the offer had no packages. Simple as that. How did we get the snippet to show? Well, let's go into the control panel and have a look at that snippet. And how did we get the date that we wanted in there. That was the second part of that question. So that was, let me find it. This one. Here is the snippet. We're preparing at shoot value dot first name. So that's the variable. So the shoot value is a value that belongs to that shoot key. The shoot key is a subject key. Therefore, at first name is appropriate. So we just did at shoot value dot first name apostrophe S. That's how we get Stephens with the apostrophe S. So that's that bit. Then this is just a graphic that we imported with the insert image, and they'll be ready. And this is how we got the date at job.jobvalue.golive2. So at job.jobvalue, that's a variable snippet that will look for a job field. The field is this bit. The field is GoLive2. When we look at that particular job, there's a job field called GoLive2, and in there we had Tuesday, the 18th of May, and that's why that snippet is displaying they'll be ready Tuesday, 18th of May. Please come back then. So that's how the snippet works. I've then put a condition on there, so it only worked for this particular job. I didn't want this happening for all my other jobs while I'm demonstrating to you, so I put a condition there to limit it to this job. You could also have conditions in there, of course, to limit it to whatever groups of jobs or offer or whatever, however you want to limit it, so it's not there for everybody's jobs if that's not what you want. So that's that part of it. Now, can we automate that process so that on a given day, you don't have to change the offer? You will automatically see that sort of message on a given date without you having to come in here and manually pause it. And yes, you know already you can do it through TSIOS. You can pause jobs this way by just hitting the play button, and that pauses the job. Or you could put an expiry date in here, which pauses the job. And this is not new. This has been there since day one. You will then see, if you try to use a key, you'll just get a little toasty. That's why I don't like it. It doesn't convey much information to the customer in case they do go on. For example, this job, Madeline, which is paused at the moment because I've got the thing paused. If I go to that key for her, and her key happens to be conveniently Madeline, you see that orange toasty at the bottom. Job for access key Madeline is not ready. Very easily missed by the customer because, they just miss it and it's not up there for long, or their browser could be like that. That's how I often have mine. I don't see the bottom of my screen anyway. So very easily missed, which is one of the reasons I don't like it. Let's unpause it because I want to show you. Unpause it, hit upload. I've got this to automatically pause or automatically expire at that time and date, 1st of September, that is, not the 9th of January. If I use the key now, you can see, again, my package, my offer didn't have packages. I just wanted us to concentrate on the snippet. We can actually now, with variable data and snippets, pull in that information. You're going to ask, why is that different? It's because one's in UTC and one's in my local time. Again, another reason I don't like using it, because this is a little bit confusing. I think if you're going to put this job expires, again, put it in a job field in whatever format you're comfortable with, and so it looks nice to you and your customers, something you understand, and pull that verbal date from your job field rather than have us do it for you, and it has to worry about UTC, etc., and your time differences. But this is pretty hooky. This job expires in, and I know yesterday when I set this up, it said 105 days, and that's a variable snippet you can put in now. that was, if I go to my PDF, did you guys get the PDF last week? I dropped it into the handouts. I forgot to mention it, so I don't know if it actually got through to you. But it is on our website too. And if you need to, I can email it to you. So the job expiry countdown is this bit, at job.expires.expressive.days. So have a look at that. That bit tells you how many days to go. The next bit tells you how many hours to go, and the next bit after that, how many minutes to go. So that's obviously new, the variable data to pull that information. We'll expand on this at job.expires date, because that's what you're seeing up there. This snippet, that bit is at job.expires date. But we need to, if it's something you're going to use, we need to give you variables of that to make it more reader friendly, rather than that sort of format, I think. If that's something you're going to use. But that wasn't the question the email person asked. He wanted to use the job data to automatically pause a job. So that's not what we wanted. We wanted to do it through the job data. So let me get rid of this again. I did set up a couple of jobs to that effect. I have a job called here. Okay. Have a look at this job. All right, I've got job fields, and I'm using the terms pause and expire interchangeably here. The pause on date, the 16th of May. The pause on date as in text, in plain text, 16th of May 2021. Remember that field we saw last week, that field needs to be a job field, which it is, and a date type field. That's not free text in there, that is date format. And you put that date in the format that's normal for you and your computer. The text, and then pause until date. Okay, so for this job, then what do you do? What else do you need to do? To pause it, we're a little bit of trickery. We put a condition against the packages. So that particular job is properties. Okay, the offer is called O4 pause. There we have it. Okay, simple offer, not much there. But if we go into the filter/extras, each package has got a condition in there. The inverse of pause one, whatever pause one is. So we're saying show this condition when the opposite, show this package when the condition pause one is not true. You follow the logic? The negative means not. So show that package when the condition pause one is not true. So if pause one is true, that package doesn't get shown, and neither do the others. Let's go have a look at what pause one is. Go to the conditions. There's a hell of a lot of birds outside at the moment. I don't know if you guys can hear them, but I sometimes feel like I'm in a Hitchcock movie. Pause conditions. What am I looking for? Pause one. There it is, right at the top. Okay. So pause one, the condition pause one, the description, pause the job on a given job field date. And we're saying check the date, check the real date when the person is ordering against the date that we've put in a field called pause on date. Let's go back to that job. Remember, our field is called pause on date. And then look at either side of it. So 0, right on that date, up to 5 days later. So in summary, this condition will be true when the current date that the person's ordering or on your site with is up to 5 days after the date that is in that field. Does that make sense? So when this becomes true, when we reach the date that's in pause on date, which happened to be the, what did we say, the 16th, this condition becomes true. It will remain true for another 5 days. That means, we go back to the packages, that means when that condition becomes true, these packages will not show, because these packages only show when the condition is not true, not when it's true, because we put a negative in front of it. So these packages will only show when the condition is not true. Then let's have a look. That condition is now true because today's the 18th. That condition started on the 16th. We're within that 5 days. Okay, and they get the snippet. We're preparing Madeline's images. They'll be ready 21st of May. Okay, we know how we get that. They'll be ready 21st of May. We're getting that from here. Okay, pause until text. This is a different snippet to before. It looks the same, but it's actually a different one. I'll show you this particular snippet. This one. Okay, that bit we've seen. They'll be ready at at job.jobValue means look at a job field essentially, and the job field is that one there. And so that's getting the data that's in that particular job field. That's how it's showing. They'll be ready then. Now, on the 21st, so 5 days later, that condition will no longer be true. And the packages will then show. Okay, because the packages, remember, are showing when the condition is not true. So 5 days later, it will just automatically show those packages again. And I've got an example of that. Let me open another job, which was done exactly the same way with the same offer. You can see this one, the pause date is the 24th of May. So we're not there yet. So the condition is not yet true, which means the packages should show. And if I use that particular key, I'm rapidly running out of 8-letter words to use with a Las Vegas theme. I've got plenty of 4-letter words, but they're not appropriate. Okay, so now the packages show. It's the same offer as before. This time we're seeing the packages and we're seeing a different snippet. And this particular snippet we saw last week as well, pre-order your school photos until then. And whatever date we want to put in there. Okay, that snippet is not appropriate for this job. I was just showing you that we can show a different snippet. All right, so that's how you can pause jobs through the data. You can pause jobs through the data by putting a condition against the packages and having that condition check the date that you put into the data into your job fields. I hope that answered the questions. Matthew, if you're there, I don't know if you're still muted, but I think your customers or you have always wanted something like this, to be able to pause through the data so that you can access it. Is that correct? I can't. You're still. Hello, Matt. You there? No.
Yes, I am.
Oh, hello. Is this? How are you? Good.
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's late, but I'm fine.
I know. It's nearly 12:30. Yeah, after midnight.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh well, but you know, it's Paris, the city of lights. You're just getting ready to go out for dinner. Okay. Does this answer your question from your customer? Is this something you've always wanted to do, to pause the jobs through the data?
Yes. It's great. It gives many different options that was asked by customers. Yes.
Okay. Very good. All right. We are going to move along then. Thank you, Matthew. Okay. All right. The other thing we wanted to look at, hangover from last week, is one of these jobs. Mark, with any questions on that? Or I'll ask everybody, I'll ask the whole room. Are there any questions left over from last week or on that particular pausing and using job fields and job date fields?
Not so far, but the last week thing is a new question. But somebody did make the point that you can only use one condition against a package. So if you want the package to be conditional on several things, stick them all into one condition and then use that.
That's not, strictly speaking, not true. You can put more than one condition against a package. Now, is it? I think, though, it's only one parameter. It's like it's any, if any of those things are true. So what we need is to be able to say both of them, show this package if both are true, if any are true, if that one is true, but not that one. You know what I mean? We need all, any, or, So,
but since that doesn't exist, the safest way is to throw all your conditions into a condition and use that condition.
You can combine multiple conditions into one condition and then call that on. That gets messy in the control panel. I understand that, and it is on our Trello list, Mark. It is in our to-do list. To be able to come up with a format of entering multiple conditions in many places, using and then deciding whether it's all of them, this one and that one, but not that one. It gets a little bit complicated in the logic there as well. But essentially, we need this sort of thing.
Line.
That thing. All, any, only, one, or none. Well, none doesn't make sense, but we need those sort of three wherever you enter the packages.
Right.
Apart from the logic, it's coming up the UI that works as well.
Yep.
Okay.
But that's it. No questions.
Okay. Shrink my panel. Okay. Scott, Al, and Brian, I think you guys want to have a better look at how we do this. And there was a question in the questions last week, which I then looked at afterwards, about how's Dino doing that? Is that a folder key? It's actually not a folder key. So let's have a look if this works for the moment. Sometimes it does not, and I'll explain why in a second. So we click that, and we can go to our, see the random groups. These groups are not matched to a folder. They are not matched to that particular subject. Any subject in the job will can click that link and see exactly the same images. They're global. Does that mean I'm using a job key? No, because as you know, a job key shows all images in the job. It basically looks at all your subjects, collects all the images for those subjects, and shows you those images. That's not what we want, because we don't want to see other people's individual portraits. A folder key does a similar thing. A folder looks at all the subjects in the folder, collects all their images, and displays all those images. Again, not what we want, because we don't want to see the subject images. So what have we done here? How have we done this? Let me just go back and put in that key. All right. As I'm hovering there, you can see down the bottom left-hand corner the link that it's calling. It's the site, it's the standard ordering with question mark key equals. What is that key? That key is actually another subject key. That key is another subject key. I'll go to the job and open it and show you how I did it. It is variable snippets, random groups. Okay, so here are all the subjects. Somewhere in there is a subject whose key very conveniently happens to be Bellagio. Okay, so that's the subject we were using, but I could grab a key for any of the subjects. It won't matter. Any subject key will behave exactly the same way. The miscellaneous groups, young Scott, I just made another folder. I created another subject, first name group, last name photos, and that subject has a key. Okay, that's the key that you saw being used when we click. You look at your group photos, and you can see that subject called group photos has lots of images matched to it. There they all are there. Okay, in poses mode. So it's a little bit, not smoke and mirrors, it's just a clever little workaround to get to where we want to be. So when we're clicking see all your group photos, we're really just changing subject. And we're changing to a subject that all the group images are matched to. But there's something you need to think about. How did we get that information into the snippet? I don't want to put this key directly in the snippet because that makes that snippet useless for any other job apart from this one. Let's have a look at the snippet. And this one, that's the snippet. You also have a lot of group photos to order from. Click here to see the group photos. Okay, that link is a bit hard to see because this is not big enough. In there has with key at job dot job value. We know at job dot job value looks at a job field, and then the field in question is called MISC groups. Okay, why are we looking at a job field? Why don't we go straight to that subject field? And you probably are right in saying, well, there's no condition I know of that looks at subject fields, and that's true until today. So we're going to look at them later today. But the reason we've made it a job field is because it needs to be accessible for any subject. The reason we haven't made it a folder key, even if a folder key, even had I matched all the images to the folder and thought I could use a folder key, no, because that will only work for subjects in that folder. I need to make it a job field because job data, any job level data, is available to all subjects. Remember, any subject in a job, we want them to be able to see these groups. So likewise, in the same thought pattern, every subject in the job needs to be able to get to that key. So I've put that information, I've put that key into a job field. And that's how the snippet retrieved it. No matter which subject goes on the site, no matter what folder that subject belongs to, they're getting that key because we've copied it into a job field. And being a job field, then anybody who hits the site has the right to see it. Does that make sense? This is where I wish I could see you, so I could see you either nodding or looking blankly. So that's how we did that one. And the offer still stands from last week. If you want sort of a smaller session to go through these little type of jobs, and the other one I showed last week, happy to do that. Scott, I'm pretty sure it was you. Does that make sense? Any reply, Mark? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but somebody wants to see the link again.
Yeah.
If you could show the poor format.
Yeah.
And another person would really like you to do a YouTube video on this particular thing.
Yeah, I probably will, but hang five because I want to make an announcement. I'll show you the other job and make an announcement. You can better see the link in here. Now, if guys, if there's one thing you know, I know you've all got lots of free time, you want to learn that, might help, I reckon a little bit of HTML, because that whole snippet, everything in that snippet is in here. And it's far more powerful if you know a little bit of HTML to be able to edit your snippet either in here or through a text editor. You've got far more control. And it's actually a lot quicker. I know it looks daunting, but it's not. So I'm going to because then it's easier for me to show it to you, just get all that, copy it. And I'm going to start a new document and pop it in there. So you can see that. I know the text, the font's a little bit small, but hopefully you can see it. The link is here. And it's for the people who know HTML, it's a ahref. Okay, so it's webinar.timestone.com.au/ordering/with ? Key equals. Now you guys have probably already done this. You may have used these in QR codes, or you send out a link to somebody. And then the last bit, the beautiful thing is it can use variable data with snippets now. Or it can use variable data, and you can show that in the snippet. At job.jobValue. .miscellaneous groups. Miscellaneous groups is the name of my job field where I copied the shoot key into, where I copied that subject key into the job field. And because it's a job field, any subject that hits it is entitled, can see this link, can see this data. Yeah. And then down the bottom where we said if the link doesn't work, use click order for another. and then we put in here at job.jobvalue.miscellaneous groups. So again, we're repeating that data, but we've had a link, and that's how we end up seeing, you see, there it is there. And that's how we end up seeing it there, but not as a link. Did that answer the question? But otherwise, if you don't want to use that, the view source, if you go to that, where it says insert link to begin, you put in that link in there. Okay, it's just that it's a long link. It doesn't fit in this window. We'd need to make the window bigger. Then the text that they actually see, if you leave this blank, they will actually see https webinar.timestone. But the text they actually see is entered here. Click here to see the group photos. Title is what they see if they hover. If you hover over that, you should see that little tooltip, whatever you want to call it. That's what they're calling title. Did I answer the question, Mark? Because there were two questions and I've forgotten one of them.
One was to show the link, which you did, and the other was to do a YouTube video, and you said, hang on.
Now,
hang on.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, here's the thing. That worked the first time I did it. And that's fine. Most people will come in, maybe order their individuals and go see the groups. But eventually, if we do this often enough, we go back and forth. I'm not sure about the error, but you may get that error because what happens is you fill in the cache, you fill up your cache, and see there, I'm clicking to see the group photos, and it starts to go wrong, okay, because you're too fast and things aren't loading and disloading. So that is an issue. That's why, and as we looked at this, there's not much we can do about it because that link, normally when you give people that link, like in an email or something like that, they're not already in the site. They'll click the link, their browser will open. If it's not already open, if it is open, it'll go to our site and go to this page, the order for another, and sort of put in your key for you and away you go. But because we're invoking it when we're already here and we're already gone forward a page, and it doesn't go back, you can end up with that issue. If they do go back and forth a few times, you'll end up, it won't refresh in time, or it'll fill up their cache allocated for this. And of course, you don't want to have to tell them to drop their cookies and stuff like that. So that's the issue with doing it as that sort of link, which is why I've put it in there as free text and with the information if that doesn't work. Now, in this sort of example, it's not as likely to happen, I think, but where it falls down a little bit more, to be honest, is the other one we saw last week, which was this one, which again, quite happy to do a YouTube or, because this one's a bit more advanced and we'd spend an hour going through how I've set up this job. Okay, and I will probably, at some point, it will stop changing because I'm going quite quickly. Yeah, you see, we get that. We've filled up. It hasn't finished drawing all those other images. We're just going too fast, and so enough of the technicalities. As clever as that is, it's got issues. So Peter and I were designing a way around that. So stay tuned for a better way of doing it, which will be so much faster. Because if I open this particular job, it's quite a bit of work. Now, admittedly, you may only have to do it once, and I'm quite happy to show you guys how to do it, but not today. Was it this one? I've forgotten which job it was. Hang on. Event. Yeah. See, this whole job was random groups. So my subjects are called, first I had to set up the job. the subjects are called Friday morning, Friday afternoon, etc., etc. Each of those subjects obviously has a key, and each of those subjects has their set of group of photos matched to them. So all the photos taken on Friday morning were matched to a subject called Friday morning. Then that key, remember the key, that's a subject key. We need that key to be available for anybody. That key got copied into a field called session 1 key, session 2 key, etc., etc. We've put the keys into there. So, and at the same time, we've put session 1 name, session 2 name, whatever. Then our snippet, remember our snippet can look at job fields, our snippet can call this information and as links. So there's a bit of work in getting it to that point. And it's a bit of work then if eventually, if they just go click, click, click through different sessions, that it fails. So what we're planning to do, if this is something that people will use, but we're not going to do it if there's no demand for it, but if this is a sort of thing that people will use, it'll get handled inherently. So you'll upload the job, and instead of having these are subjects, you could maybe have a folder called Friday morning, a folder called Friday afternoon, etc. Match the group images to those folders. Then clicking a button in TSIOS, some sort of option when you upload, you'll have buttons across here. Certainly still have a snippet that says Las Vegas cheerleaders. Click on your session below, but we'll be providing you buttons, and those buttons will use the friendly name of that folder. And you don't have to do any of that data manipulation I showed you in the job because it's already there. Those buttons will then display the Thursday morning images and the Thursday afternoon images. Far simpler solution if there is a need for it. Okay, but the offer's still there. If you want more information about how to do this right here and now, we can organise a time for another session. I hope that made sense. Any questions?
No questions, but people would like to see the buttons.
Yeah. I think that together with the suggestion that came at the end of last meeting from Becca about grouping packages have sort of moved way up the list. Good idea.
Yep. Very good idea.
All right. That's it for leftover stuff from last week. We're going to move on if there's no more questions about that. All right, I want to show you something that's interesting that you'll like. I am going to put in, which key shall I use? Oh yeah, this is a good place. Okay, so let me actually, before I start, clear all that rubbish we just did. Try that key again. All right, that's better. Okay. Now, by the way, I've got my site set up so that if the key only has one image, it doesn't show the images at the top. It doesn't show the film strip. Some of these jobs we've been seeing, you haven't seen the images at the top. It's because I only have one image. It's not that there's none necessarily, but if there's one, I've elected in my site setup, if the subject only has one image, don't bother with the film strip because invariably I'm showing it in my packages somewhere anyway, or many places. So I'd rather have the space and not show the images at the top when there's only one. That is an option that's available to everybody if you like. So it's up to you. If that's something you want to do, let us know, and Mark or I can configure your site so that if there's only one image, it doesn't show this film strip. This subject, as you can see, obviously has two images, so it's showing them, and it has backgrounds too. But for now, let me just hide them, get them out of the way. Okay. You know that we can change the wording here. For the Australian customers, we spell it correctly with an S and not the Z. But you can also have it something altogether different. Rebecca and Patty, I think, have the button called select pose and background, because that's what it does when you click there. So we can change what that button says. We can even change that. That would normally say select option for whatever your product is. Now my product's 9 by 10, so it normally would have said select option for 810, which is what my product is called. You can change that yourself in TS Admin on a product by product basis. So I'll show you how to do that in case you've forgotten, because that's been around for a while. And obviously with this particular package and this particular product, we can customize pose or image, background, as well as item. Okay, let's get rid of him. Let's go to this one. This particular product now, only the poses, not the backgrounds. This particular product, only the backgrounds. Can't change the pose or the item. Finally, the other one, this one, we're not letting them change pose or background, but they can choose an item. That is new, and I think that is welcome. Would you agree? You wouldn't agree, okay. How do we do that? Let me show you. That particular offer is this one. Here are my packages. Okay, there's my product. Obviously, if I had more products, we'd see more products down there. Let me just close some windows before this gets unruly messy. Okay, so you know against each product, you've got this little window, this little button, set further product options. You go in there. That's where I put customize the lot. If you leave that blank, it will say select option for product, whatever the product happens to be called, according to how you've defined it here in products on the left. I think you know that. And up until today, all you could do then is either turn off the customization for that product completely. But now it's granular, now it's selective. You can decide to turn it off for the images and the backgrounds and leave those, or whatever combinations you want, or whatever. So yeah, you can selectively turn off customization for a product for those three things. That is new, and I think it's one of the major things we wanted to do for this release. Pretty straightforward, pretty self-explanatory. Any questions on that?
A lot of praise, no questions. Actually, one question: prompt fields are not selected in that, but that's a template thing, not a
we see prompt fields are a different beast. They are activated by having prompt field in your template, and also the thing with prompt fields, you then got issues like if you're charging for it, it can be the charge can go across wherever that prompt field is presented. There's issues there. So prompt fields do not make part of that. But if you don't want prompt fields to be presented, don't have it on the template in that product.
Right.
Pretty
it's
much.
Just it's not in the same class.
It's
and
a different beast. Yeah.
A person is asking, if you turn off customize the images, what image will they get? Well, it'll be the one that's selected at the top.
Indeed.
Or whatever's in the package.
Yeah. And of course, if you've got multiple products in your package, like I've just added another product to the package, you can do it for each product in the package. My packages just happen to have one product for simplicity, but you can do it on a per product basis. Like the turning off items for digital images, for example, is a no-brainer. You guys obviously were asking for it, so you know how you're going to use it. But as to which image and background it'll use by default, it's what... if they had chosen to do so, what they have picked up here.
Which would show in the package.
Yeah. Now, remember, another option, you could have the option of never having images up in this film strip, and I know at least 2 people have done that, never showing the images up there, never showing the backgrounds up there. So you save that space. It means you can't go to the grid, admittedly, like I just showed you. but it forces them to go to customize each time to choose their poses and backgrounds. So that is another option if you want to do that.
Hey, Dino.
Yes.
Could you go over that one more time about the film strip being what's going to be ordered? Because it has nothing to do with poses or what's set in the template unless it's implicitly set in the template.
Yeah. So I can, let me reset this one, for example. See, I can do that. And it's changing it for every package.
Yeah.
Yep.
What it's really doing is it's just removing the option to do it under customize. It's not removing the function.
Oh, yeah. So, for example, thank you for pointing that out. Even that one. So that one, we can't choose the pose in here, but no, you're still allowed to choose it in there. Yeah, that'll still change there. So that's that one. That was package C. Okay, so package C is the smile, straight to the camera. If I come back to here, package C is head tilted. It takes it off from the customize option. Yeah, from the customize drop down. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
While we're here, just something else that's new, and there's a snippet there. Keep watching it. Add something to the cart. There's the snippet, same snippet still there. Customer checkout page has a snippet. Snippet on the delivery options page. A snippet on this page on the review. Might place the order. Okay, not a snippet here. We've added like three or four pages now where the snippet can appear where it didn't before. Not yet for this one. Why? Okay, it's much trickier to get it on this one. I'll tell you why. Because when you get to this point, this page is actually stateless. It's sessionless. You no longer have the stuff that went before it. We know we've got the order placed. There's the order key. We know that the database it's been written to the database what the person ordered, but things about that session are no longer needed, no longer relevant, and are gone. And the reason being is that, and this is something you may not know, I hit place order there. That order got written to the database. Someone might go to pay with Stripe, authorized.net, whatever, and for whatever reason don't pay. Something happens, they can't pay. You can always send them back to this page, or you can come back to this page weeks later, months later, tomorrow, with this link. See up there, that link, ordering/payment with the order reference key. If I just grab that, I'll even get right out of the browser, come back a day later, or whenever later, I go back, put that in, okay? So we admit now I've logged out. I could clear my cache. In fact, I'll do that to prove the point. I'll do it this way too. Just want to show you that it can work on any other computer as well. Privacy, clear, the whole lot, pretty much. Okay. Now I can come back in here and at any point or on any other computer and go back to there, and the customer can now go in and make the payment, or you could do it for them, or now they've refunded their credit card, they put the funds in and it'll work. They can always go back to make the payment. So you can imagine if they've gone back a week later, things they did in the site at that point, up to this point, no longer apply. So the snippet, to put a snippet in here, you may have @codes there that are session related. You may have @codes there that are cart related, or, they're not going to work, which is why we haven't got the snippets on this page yet, but we will do something to get snippets on that page as well. That's why we haven't put them there now, even though we've added them to some of those other pages. Now, this is a roundabout way of saying that when you do update, you're going to see, it's not a roundabout way of saying it, it's just some extra information. In the TSIOS, in the new TSIOS, there's an option in there, payment, allow payment deferral. That is something we're working on, and half of it is done. So you can check that, and you could check them both, in fact. Checking required payment obviously presents whatever it presents now, your Stripe, Authorize, eWay options, whatever. Payment deferral gives them another option to place the order but defer the payment. And you, at that point, depending on what you want to do, will present information. That might say, okay, send a check to this address, or here's our bank details, make a deposit for that amount, citing the reference number. Whatever, come into the studio and bring us cash, please. It will, you're up to you what instructions you're going to put in. So at that point, you're going to need the snippets to give them the instructions about what this payment deferral, how to make that deferred payment. The order will be a special order type. The orders panel, the orders object in the control panel is being modified to suit. Get back into here. Okay, this will change a bit. We're going to put more functionality in there. There'll be an order type. There'll be so you can search for these deferred orders, and when you do your daily reconciliation of monies that have come in or whatever, you will mark that order as, yep, now it's been paid. That deferred order has now been paid, and it gets into your system. It's different to an unpaid order because it failed. It's a deferred payment. And we're probably at that point, this whole orders object will come out of the control panel. It'll be a different URL. The control panel is more a administrative thing. You know, make your snippets, your snippets, your conditions, coupons. That's an administrator task. The orders, this is more a customer service thing. So that's going to come out to be its own entity and souped up a little bit with more functionality. And then at that time, handle the deferred payment system as well. That hopefully will be the subject of the next webinar. All right. So, but anyway, I want to show you that snippets, you can now put them further down into the site, not just the first few pages, which is what it used to do up until now. Any questions on that?
Got a lot of yeses with exclamation points. I think this might be a payment gateway question more than a time zone.
Sorry, I've lost you, Mark.
Do you know any way that people can use a check online using like an ACH deposit or transfer in any of the payment gateways? I
don't know what an ACH thing is. Sorry.
It'd be where you enter your routing number in your account and it takes it right out of your account. But I don't. That would be a gateway thing more than us. And maybe I can handle this question separately later.
Okay.
But one thing that I'd like you to show again is the TS admin underneath and where you get to turning on and off the customizations per product.
Okay, so in any particular offer, go to the package, go to any of the products in that package. There is a little icon to the right. If you hover over that, it says set further product options. Click that, and you can decide to make that product completely non-customizable, or decide which of the 3 customization things you can do, which of them to disable, or which combinations of them to disable. So that's where you do it. Remember, globally, you can turn off customization for a package. We do that quite a lot. At the package level, go to a particular package, go to the filters/extras tab, double click, and in there is an option non-customizable. that means the whole package is non-customizable, and by extension, every product in it. The customization button wouldn't even appear under that package when you click that option. Yep, answered that question.
Yes.
Good. Oh, all right. So you're probably going to ask before we move on about when can you upgrade? Pretty much from tomorrow. Don't annoy me today because I've got something else to do. But from tomorrow, quite happy to update people's sites. That's ready to go. You will need, depending on what you want to do, we could update your site and away you go, and you've got variable snippets already in that. And the new conditions, some of which I've showed, some of which we're about to see. On the other hand, you'll need this TS admin if you want to turn off the granular customization of packages. You'll need this new TS admin if you want to have conditional delivery options, as we saw last week. And that TS admin will make a very small database change at your Timestone database. Basically adds this column. So you need this TS admin, and then you'll need this TS iOS. Visually, it doesn't look any different apart from having that allow payment deferral. Don't use it now, okay? Because you'll have a world of hurt. Don't use it now. But you need this TS iOS to then know about those conditions against the delivery options to be able to upload them. Okay, so really they're the only two apps you need. Therefore, we've not made an installer for them, but we've put these two things in a zip file, and then Mark and I, for the people who do want them, I will send you a link to that zip file, and you'll get two exes. You'll get the exe for a TS admin, you'll get an exe for a TS iOS. Put them on your desktop, put them back into program files for whoever runs your TS admin or whoever runs your uploads, and Bob's your uncle. Do you actually need to update the apps? No, you don't need to update the apps, but as we're going to see shortly, there is one slightly new thing in NeoPack which you may want, which is independent to iOS, in which case you can update the apps. They're already live on the site. Updated apps, they have one new thing, which we'll see shortly, but it's optional. You don't need to update the apps, NeoPack, etc., to use iOS 3.1, but you will need these two things if you want to use conditional delivery options and selective turning off of customization. If they don't interest you, but you like the idea of the variable snippets, well, then all we have to do is update your site, and away you go. Yeah, so let us know from tomorrow my time. Happy to do it. It won't take long. Mark, these two apps are in a zip file and they're in bin, but I'll send you a link as well.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay, so control panel. We've got some new conditions, which is what we're going to spend the rest of our time with. And we've already seen job date field. That's not strictly speaking true. That's been there for a little while, but it's relatively new. And we can also look at any particular job field. So job details, we can look at the job name, a job field, job date field, season code, season description, account code. So to be able to look into a particular job field and use that in a condition, very powerful, as we've seen. The job date field, very powerful. Newish, not brand new. Brand new, to be able to check against the offer. Okay, a condition that looks at a particular offer code or offer description, whatever you want to use that condition for. I've used that through last week and today, just so that what I'm showing you was limited to a particular job that I was showing you. It was easier for me to limit it by offer because I didn't want to pollute other jobs with it. So again, use this as you need to. Lisa, if you're in the audience, you've always wanted this. You've got a collection of jobs that you wanted to do a condition for. And sure, you could have put into a job field something that it checked for or a job tag. But given that all those jobs belong to the one offer, far easier if you could just make one condition that looked at that particular offer. So that's there, that's new. This little option is new too. You may want to check, not so much for an offer, that's never going to be empty. You may want to check against a particular field, but check to see if that field is actually empty or not. So that's new, and we will fix the typo for next time, okay? Yeah, I don't know if people use this one. Now, you may be asking, well, why is offer out there on its own? Why wasn't it part of job in here with season code, workspace code? That's a very good question. It does have a very good answer, though. Mainly because we need to revamp these whole conditions and resort them, because the categories have become a bit of a dog's breakfast because they've outgrown us really quickly, and we need to restructure where things are just to make them easier to find. But also, don't confuse the job the offer that you set in the job. You set an offer in here. It does not necessarily have to be the offer that you've uploaded with. They can be different offers. So therefore, it's a little bit confusing if we say it's the job offer. Yeah, maybe, but not necessarily. It's the offer that was used when that job was uploaded, that you selected in TSIOS, which is not necessarily the same offer that you've set in file properties. Okay. And you may say to me, oh yeah, but that applies to season code and account code. You could change that in the job after you've uploaded. That's true, but you can't select in here when you upload. You're selecting an offer. You're not selecting a season and a workspace there, but you can select a different offer to what the job is. So that's why the offer is separate. Okay. Use that one as you will. There is another newbie, which, Brooke, if you're in the audience, you needed this a little while ago. One of your photographers wanted to do something. They wanted to know, I've forgotten where it is now, Brooke. Should key. Okay. They wanted to do something for subjects who are in a family. So now we've got a condition for this shoot key. Obviously, it'll have to be a subject key. Is it in a composite? Is it in a group? That's in a neo group, not a neo pack type group. So it will check to see if that subject is in a comp, or check to see if that subject is in a group. And this one has been is useful. Is the new one, brand new one. Shoot key in family. That will check to see whether that subject belongs to a family in Neopack. Do then what you want with it. I don't remember exactly, Brooke, what you needed to do, but that's the condition you were wanting. That's the condition you were needing. You were trying to do it with a folder, but no, folders and families aren't the same thing. But now you can do it. Session shoot key in family. I've used this in a particular way. I will show you a particular job. I couldn't, there's going to be other examples of using this. This is what I came up with just for now. The job is, okay. Simple job. I've only got 2 families. Some of those families have got their kids assigned to them. Okay. Other subjects around the place don't belong to a family. Okay. Let's have a look. When I go to use a key, see now I have to do this, which I don't like doing, but get back to here. Okay, I'm going to use a key for this strapping young lad, Tom Jones, who is not in a family. Okay, so this good-looking kid is not in a family. That's what things look like. Okay, straightforward. Let me change to another key for the same in the same job for a subject that is in a family. This subject is in a family. Okay, they get to see a snippet because they're in a family, we've used a condition against a snippet that says you have family photos. To see and order your family photos, click the order for another button, top right, and use this access key. That key is their family key, is the family key. So let me go back to here. See the key there? Now, we didn't copy and paste the key into the snippet because that would have made it ridiculous. That meant we'd have to do a new snippet for every family. We made that snippet generic. Just think of it like a template. Let's have a look at that snippet and the condition. Snippet in family. Okay, you have family photos. To see and order your family photos, click there. It's just at family.family key. We haven't, unlike the random groups example, we didn't copy that key and put it into a job field because we don't want to make this available to everybody. It knows that that subject is in a family. Therefore, when we go at family.family key, it gets the family key for that kid's family, just like using at codes in a template. Okay, and we've made it conditional. We've made this snippet conditional, session, shoot key in family. So this snippet will only show for subjects who are in a family. Make sense? And then they can copy that key, order for another, and see their family ones. Now, I don't have multiple family images, but I wanted to show you multiple, so I did very bad screen grabs of the same image, just to give you an idea. But if they had multiple images, they'd be better looking than that. And we could have another snippet at this point that said to go back to your portrait images, click order for another and enter the personal access key that you have, for example. That's a useful way or a good use of that in-family condition and a way to get kids or get people their family key. That's always been a bit of a problem. How do you get people their family key after the fact? Well, here you don't have to. You've already got them their subject key. They already know that to use. You don't have to tell them the family key. It'll show it for them on the site. And it's private because they're the only ones because it's linked to that subject key. Any questions on that?
Not on that. Lisa says thank you.
You're welcome.
And going back a couple of steps to the deferred payment.
Yes.
And to understand it a little bit further, it's not really going to be like delivery options where you're going to have deferred payment options. Is it just going to be instructions on what to do?
Yes.
When you defer the payment? So
yes.
If a person wants them to send cash or check into their studio, you just would have instructions to do so.
It's 100%. Yeah, it's 100% flexible. So the idea was it'd be something that could use no matter what country you're in or what market you're in, however you want to use. Some people use it and they'll say, send us a check or come into the studio and bring us cash. Someone else will say, here's our BSB and account number, make a payment into there.
So it's informational, not optional.
It's not optional. No, you're not going to choose different options. You're going to just define what it's going to do for you.
Yeah.
And that definition could have several options associated to it. But it's a totally 100% flexible, 100% manual in the sense that if you do elect to hand out your bank account details for them to make a direct deposit, okay, very popular here in Australia, we're not going to know that. When you do your reconciliation, you're going to reconcile your incomings versus these orders that you'll filter for in the control panel and tick off the ones that you've received. Okay?
Okay.
And so that said, already Karen and a few people through the higher volume people saying that's never going to work for us because we get hundreds a day. I agree. It's not going to be for everybody, and for high volume people, it may not be worth your trouble. But other people, smaller volume, or they're already doing that reconciliation daily anyway, it's no effort to then release those orders. And not everybody will pay that way because you can still offer your normal payment method by credit card. Some people are still just going to do that, and some people go to deferred payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there are some folks that like the folder or the family
Yeah.
condition. So
Yeah.
that's it.
The people will come up with their own use for that in-family condition. Yeah. All right. So I reckon we've been going an hour. I reckon we've got at least half an hour to go, if not 40, 45 minutes. So I reckon we should stretch the legs, stretch our neck, get a coffee, and let's come back in 5 minutes. Everyone happy with that? Because I need to get myself a drink. My throat is getting dry, and I don't have a water bottle with me. So let's be back in about 5 minutes. Okay.
Will do.
I'm going to leave everything going. So this is going to keep recording because I'm scared if I touch something, it'll break. So, so my microphone is going too. So I'm going to use the toilet upstairs. All right. So be back in 5. Okay.
Yep.
See you soon.
Muted. Unmuted.
All right. I'm back. Matthew, Tu es toujours
I'm
là?
back.
Mark's back.
Yep.
Yes, I'm here.
You're not asleep yet?
Nope.
Good, good. Soon you can go to sleep.
Yes, thank you.
All right. What time did we start the break, Mark? Has it been 5 minutes? Not quite.
It's right at 5 now.
Okay. We're okay with the questions. I can see some people got their hands up for questions. Have we answered them?
Yeah, I've been answering everybody's questions.
Okay. All right. Now, what's next? I'll move this out there. All right, guys, we shall carry on. Okay, we're finishing off with looking at conditions yet again, because there are some more new ones, but we're going to concentrate on one of them because it's the god of conditions, in my opinion, for its power. For example, we talked about job date, job fields, offer, but what we're going to focus on is this one, shoot, session, no, big pardon, shoot. Okay, shoot folder. I'm not sure exactly how much of this is new. I remember we had done some of it, but possibly not all of it. But we can now look at not just folder name and folder tags, but any of the folder fields and a folder date field. Okay, and use that in a condition however you may need to. But we're going to focus on this one, shoot entity, subject, family, folder. The shoot entity is determined by the key you put in. If you put a subject key in, then that shoot entity, what we're calling shoot entity, is a subject, and therefore we talk about subject level data. If you put in a family key in, that shoot entity is a family, and therefore we talk about family level data. We're going to focus on shoot entity subject and entity field or entity date field. Okay, don't let this thing entity confuse you. If we're using a shoot key, that is a subject key, what we're doing now, what we've said there now, is look at any of the subject fields. That is new. So now we can make a condition based drill right down to subject level data. And I'm not sure we can appreciate yet how powerful that can be. Any subject level data, whether it's there to begin with or you put it in, you can make a condition against. And we can use that to do a lot of things. I'm going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4 examples of using this. You're going to come up with your own. I'm going to use a condition that looks at subject level data to check if data is missing, because you may have a product that relies on a nickname, for example. And if that kid doesn't have a nickname, you're not using prompt fields, you don't want to show that product. So we can use this condition to do that. I'm not going to use a nickname example, but I'll use a different example. Conversely, we can look at subject data and decide to present certain products for some subjects, but not for others. And those subjects can be randomly scattered through the job. They don't have to belong all in the same folder or anything like that. Subject level data. We can maybe offer free shipping to random people in that job. We can maybe use this condition to know who has placed an order in the past in that job, whether that order was an online order, or even a paper order. Use this condition to look at the data, the subject's data, know that that person has placed an order in the past, and do something with that. Maybe offer them a free package, maybe offer them discount prices if they come back to the site. Use that as a way of maybe driving people back to the site to get some little bit of extra sales. Finally, we're going to maybe look at the situation, a real case study of someone here in Australia who wants people to come back to the site to claim their digital order. So when they pre-order, yeah, they'll order packages that contain the digital file, to contain a digital download. But rather than have that then automatically be sent to them, no. They're going to get something, a piece of paper or some information to say, to get your digital product, go back to our site, use your personal shoot key now, and now go back and claim your digital product. And in doing so, hopefully, yeah, they'll get their freebie, but maybe, just maybe, they may order something else while they're on the site. So we're going to look at those 4 or 5 different case studies, and they're all using this new condition, a condition that checks right down to subject level data. Okay? All right, let's get cracking. Okay. Water from that. Okay. All right, and I need to open a job I am going to work with. It's called okay. Consider this job. I am going to use this offer. Let me show the offer. That particular offer. In this offer, there are some named wallets. Forget the product. I've just quickly put an 8x10, but they're really wallets, named wallets, and some plain wallets. So people can order the named wallets for whatever price. I think it's $19, or the plain wallets without a name for $15. Okay, but here's the but. These name wallets are using their real name, not a nickname. A better example would have been with a nickname, but I didn't have time to set all that up. But we've got a kid in this job that it's in protective custody or whatever, you know. This kid's name cannot be displayed anywhere, this particular person, okay, this particular subject. So this particular subject does not have first name and last name data. So for this particular subject, we want to not even offer them the named wallets because it's just going to cause confusion. That product needs a first name. That product for that subject doesn't have a first name. If we present it, they're going to get customer service calls. Maybe not the best example of using this, but it's the one I've got. So to start with, let's have a look at somebody who as a normal person. So Control K, a normal person, as in a person who doesn't have the privacy restriction. Okay, so this is what the offer should look like. And you can see she can order the named wallets, and her name is Adeline, but she can also order the plain wallets. When we order for the person who does not have that data is missing. She even has a secret service password called Skywheel. Okay. She doesn't see the named wallets, not even presented to her. How did we do that? We did that with a condition. Let's investigate. Let's investigate the offer. Start with that. We saw the offer, named wallets, plain wallets. The offer, the named wallets, has a condition against them. It's the condition has no name, but the inverse of that. It's the negative of has no name. So that's our clue. We need to go look at what this condition called has no name is. Let's go to the control panel. There's the condition, has no name. There's what we've been talking about, what I was talking about earlier. Shoot entity So shoot key is the subject, so we're talking about subject field. So the shoot entity field is a subject field. Let's have a look at the subject field called first name. And here we're using that thing is not empty. Okay. So this condition will be true. There's a few double negatives here. This condition will be true when that field is not empty. So that condition becomes true basically when the field has no value in it, has no information in it. Okay, if I didn't have not up there, we'd be saying where it's not empty, but we want the condition to check when it is empty. So we check the not, the inverse of that. Okay, and then so that condition is true. Okay, when the subject does not have that data. Okay, so when that is the case, we don't want this package to show. So that's why we've put negative in here. Little bit, got to get your mind around the double negatives in that, but with a bit of calmness, you'll understand what I did there. Bottom line is that package does not show when the field first name is empty. Simple as that. Everybody else gets to order that package, she doesn't. And you could use this probably in dozens of other ways for different products that require different bits of data. If that subject does not have data, don't even give them the chance to order it. Okay, that's our first example. Any questions on that one?
Not so far, no.
Not so far? Okay.
No.
Let's have a look at this job. Keep looking at this job. The folders are arranged by, I don't know, we'll just call them the homeroom. So there's grade 1s and 2s together with the teacher of Miss Burke, grade 3s and 4s, grade 5s and 6s. They're all composite classes. So in the grade 5s and 6s, and you can see we've got a grade field. We actually were given that sort of data. We know that some of those people are in grade 5, some are in grade 6. Let's do the opposite to what we did before. The grade 6s, they're leaving primary school, elementary school this year. They're graduating. Yay. They're going to high school next year. So it'd be nice to offer them a particular package, a particular product, a graduation certificate, a graduation product, but not everybody else, because they're the only ones that are graduating. Okay, so let's have a look at the offer. You can see I've got a graduation certificate as a product. There is a filter against it, an condition against it. The condition is called is grade 6. Okay, let's have a look at what that condition is. Conditions is, where was it? Grade 6, down the bottom. Subject is in grade 6 according to the grade field. That's my description. Again, it's that same condition. The shoot entity, which is a subject, the entity field, so a subject field, we're going to check the field called grade. If it's got a 6 in there, we could have put 6 in contains, or we could have put 6 start with, but that's all it's got. If it's got a 6 in there, that condition is true. Simple as that. It's asking a very simple conditional question here. Does the subject have the value 6 in his grade field? If the answer to that is yes, the condition is true. If he's not in grade 6, the condition is false. And we put that condition against the package. So it'll only be shown when that condition is true. Practically what happens then is if we choose somebody who's not in grade 6, for example, this girl, Control K. Okay, she sees the normal packages, does not see anything special, no graduation package, no nothing. If we go to somebody else who is a 6th grader and is about to leave school, to go to high school, and appropriately named Blackjack. This person is in grade 6. Okay, she gets presented with that package, with the graduation package, because she's in grade 6. We've also made it nice. We've put a snippet in there. Congratulations, Hayley. All the best for next year. We know how to get Hayley in there now, don't we? We do @shootvalue.firstname. That's how we got Hayley in there. Okay, so we've now done the opposite. Instead of hiding a package depending on subject data, we're displaying a package depending on that subject's data, zooming right into one of their fields, their grade field. Pretty easy. And I misspelled certificate, I just noticed that. Okay, any questions on that one? Again, pretty straightforward, and I think you'll make even more use of this. Hope you agree. No questions, Mark?
No questions. You're cruising well.
They're easy. Okay, so there are examples of where we looked at the subject's data and the condition checked that data and did something. Now, there's no reason you couldn't add your own data to have things happen. No reason you can't add your own data and have a condition look at that data. For example, you may want to offer free shipping to the staff. That's not uncommon, or any other random in there. And you don't want to necessarily have to get a coupon out to them, a free shipping coupon. You may say, okay, but the staff are already in their own folder. We could make a condition that looks at the folder name or folder tag. That's not new. But in this particular job, the staff aren't in their own folder. They're actually mixed up into the classes. So, for example, there's a staff member there. He's not his ID staff, but he's not in his own folder. But for whatever reason, there may be random subjects you want to give free shipping to. Okay, let's do that. Let's see how we can do that. I've made a field called free shipping. It's a subject field. It was not part of the data when we imported. Okay, we go edit fields, and I've made a field called free shipping. I'm just going to, for anybody who qualifies for free shipping, I'm going to put a 1 in there. Doesn't matter what you put in there. Okay, but for me, I'm going to put a 1 in there. There's another easier way to get the other staff member. Okay, there. I'm just going to put a 1 in that field. Okay, and we may just pick a random student if you want. Any student will do, and give them free shipping as well. See, totally at random. We've now got a field called free shipping. We've got data for that field. We've got a 1 for some of those subjects and not the others. We know that we can give free shipping with conditions. So while I've got TS admin, let's have a look at the offer and the delivery options. I've got this set, that free shipping, okay, with a condition called free ship. Let's go have a look what that condition is. Conditions, free ship. Okay, again, we're looking right at subject level data. The subject field, where a subject field called free shipping contains 1. I'd already made the condition, okay? So this condition will be true, the condition free ship will be true when the subject's field called free shipping has a value of 1 in it. And when that condition is true, this delivery option becomes true and is shown, and that one being the inverse disappears. Okay, so let's test that. This is where I start to get really nervous because I've got to now upload this, and I hope it hasn't broken since I set all this up. So okay, we've made changes to the job data. Okay, so we need to refresh that job. All right, and now that value will go up. That field called free shipping will go up, and for 3 of those subjects, they'll have a a 1 in that field, and our condition is looking for that number 1 in that field. You see where we're going with this?
Yes.
Yep. The examples get a little bit more complicated after this one, so bear with us.
People are liking this.
Yeah, it's I can see us discussing lots of different uses for this. Lots of different uses.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. There we go. All right, so let's go back to here, order for another, get some keys. So we'll do this. Okay, so one of the teachers was Donald. So this guy, for example, get his key, Control K, enter that key in. I'm getting very nervous. I hope this works. Okay. Okay, yep, so he's a teacher. Good. Add that to the cart. Keep going. Okay, he's got free shipping because of that data in his field. Let's just keep us honest. Choose somebody who doesn't have that value. Okay, he's just a normal kid. When we go to the cart, he has to pay for the shipping because his data is different. Good, that's a goodie. That's I like that one. Now, if you weren't also tired, you would be probably thinking of a very good question. What happens if you order for both of them? One for the teacher and one for the kid. What would it do? Because the condition is true for one and not for the other. In that case, they'd have to pay. Okay, so the condition has to be true for, if you're ordering for multiple subjects, the condition would have to be true for all of them. You don't want, in this example, you don't want one person who's eligible for free shipping, courtesy of that field, ordering for 20 other people and they all get free shipping. Make sense? Good. It's unnerving having silence. All right.
Silence is good.
Silence is good. I hope there's people still there and, just decide to come back after the break. All right. Next one. Next example of using this. Same job. Same job. And here we're going to do a lateral example as well. So let me just make this a little bit bigger. And I just want to stay in Neopac for a little bit. So, all right. Something else we're going to do based on this. We want to, you can see people have ordered. Some people have, they pre-ordered by paper orders, they pre-ordered. We've even got some fulfill orders in there. But in my case study, that wouldn't have been the case because people have either pre-ordered by Identify, some orders with paper orders, but whatever. We've got some people who have ordered, some people that haven't. We want, even the people who ordered, we want to incentivize them to go back to the site. And when we deliver their prints, we're going to say something, thank you for ordering, you're eligible for a free gift, go back to our site, use your key to claim it. A lot of people won't. They'll ignore it. Some people will. They'll get their free gift and nothing else. Hopefully, some people will get their free gift and decide to order a little bit more while they're there. So, you know what we're going to do. We're going to have to tell the software somehow who has ordered, even with paper orders. The site might know about online orders, but it has no idea about paper orders. So we're going to trick it a little bit, a bit of a clever workaround. You can see I've got a column in there called has orders, a field called in there called has ordered. We're just going to put a value in there for everybody who has ordered. Now, unlike the free shipping, you don't want to have to do that manually. You don't want to go putting in one, for 50, 100, hundreds of different people. We want to do that a little bit more automatically. In fact, if I enlarge this window, can everyone still see that? That's still okay? Yep. There's a couple of things, ways we can do this. We want to get a value in there. It doesn't have to be one, but whatever that value is, we want to get in there for only people that are ordered. We know we can sort by clicking the headers. But if I sort by that, well, then the rest of them are out of order. If I sort by that, I want to try to get all the orders together so I can bunch them as once and give them a value. So starting with the paper order, if I go now to the next column and hold the control key down, I can do multi-level sorting. So holding the control key down, primary level is that. Okay, so now that and that. So now all the orders are at the top. That's multi-level sorting by holding the control key down as you click the column headers. That's not new. It's been there for a few years, but maybe some people didn't know about it. Now that I've got all the orders together, it's much easier for me to do this. I can now select only the subjects who have ordered. Now what? Okay. Well, I could make a /%D barcode, and again, that will mean nothing to some people. Other people love /%D barcodes, which will populate a given field. That's got hairs on it. You don't particularly want to do that. Having selected them all, I'm going to go to Edit, Populate Field. Okay. I'm going to populate the field called Has Ordered with fixed text. This time, I'm not going to put one. I'm going to put something else in there, #yes. So for the people who have ordered, they're going to have a value in there called #yes. #yes. And I'm going to do it for the selected subjects only. This is new. This ability to populate for selected subjects only is new. And that may be a reason that you want to update to this Neopack. That's the only reason to update to this Neopack, is that is a new thing. Okay, and voila. Very easily, I got #yes into my selected subjects, who happen to be the ones who ordered. Any questions on that?
Oh.
Populate Field is something that is underutilized, I think, or some people don't even know about it, and it can be very, very powerful. And that new feature is very, very handy, as we've just seen in this particular example. Okay. We now need to upload this job because we've got new data. While then it's uploading, we'll have a look at how we're going to use that. How we're going to use that information. Has ordered, refresh. Upload. Okay, so while that's doing its business, so what we're going to do, that particular offer, the offer we've will be uploading with, or have uploaded with, there is something called a gift package. Gift package, thank you for having ordered. It's conditional. It has a condition in there against it called has ordered. Okay. Not only that, but we have a price list called has ordered. And you can see the prices in the has ordered price list are significantly less than the others, the originals. And you can see that the gift package is a 0 in any case. It's for free. It's a gift. Okay. So we've got this thing called has ordered. We've got this package, this condition called has ordered. Let's go have a look at what it does. Conditions. Do people like that new bit in Populate Field? Do people know, for example, the populate field, I used fixed text, but you could put @codes in that fixed text window.
I know of a few that know that, yes.
Yeah. Does anyone
Not
know that? Do people know if you inadvertently import a text file and have the first name and last name fields mismatched, for example, flipped back to front? So you get last name in first name and first name in last name, and you don't realize until a day later and you've done a whole lot of work. Do you know how to fix that using Populate Field without having to re-import a text file? And follow-up question, would you like to know?
Not yet, but people are liking the Populate Field, and some people say they use it all the time.
Good. All right. Okay. Maybe at the end, if anyone wants to see how to fix your first name and last name fields, we can. Those people can hang around, and I'll show you.
We are getting some people saying yes now.
All right. Well, we might as well do it now. But anyway, this condition is called has ordered, and again, it's our new best friend. Shoot entity field. So basically, subject field, where the subject field called has ordered has hashtag yes in there. I just put the hashtag in there to make it different, so it was obvious. So if I ever do a search in details mode for, hashtag yes, it's easy. It's not likely to be part of someone's name or anything like that. So, it doesn't really matter what data you put in there, as long as they're in the field, as long as it matches what's in here. All right. So, okay, petite pause. As they say, petite pause. Let me open this job. We're going to come back to that one. At some point in your life, in your Timestone life, everybody makes this mistake where when they import a text file, they have the fields mapped incorrectly. If that hasn't happened to you, you're a freak, or you're just not trying hard enough, because everybody does it. And in this particular example, what I did when I imported the text file, I had the first name data and the last name fields flipped around, mismatched. So I've got the first names in the last name column, and I've got the last names in the first names columns. Okay. If you catch that straight away when you import the text file, then you probably just import the text file again, overwrite, or trash the whole data and start again. However, if you've gone a few days and done some work and maybe manipulated data, changed data, done some work in it, that's not an option. You don't want to import the text file again and have to decide which of those options to use, which no one understands anyway. I don't. They scare the hell out of me, whether to update, replace, all that sort of stuff. So you don't need to import the text file again. And it may be inappropriate. The text file may be dated because you've done some work with the names in here or with the other data in here. So here's how you do it using Populate Field. It's a really clever solution. I take my hat off to Mark who thought of it. Okay, it is not my idea. So we go edit fields. First, we're going to make temporary fields to hold the data. It's like a backup. So I'm just going to call them. It doesn't matter what you call them, but real FN for real first name and real last name. Okay. They're over there. All right. Now I want to change those. I want to bring them closer. This is something you may not be aware of either. You can go edit columns, and I've made job-specific fields. They are job-specific fields as opposed to common fields that we did in TSAdmin. So I'm going to bring them up closer to there. And while I'm here, I'm going to turn off tags, and I could turn off that. I don't want that. Clean that up. So now those fields have been moved closer to the first name and last name fields. All right. So I want, in the real first name column, I want to get the real first names in there. I go to edit, populate fields, populate field, populate that field that I've made, real FN, fixed data. Fixed data doesn't mean you can't have @codes in there, which makes it variable data. So you're probably thinking, why the hell did Dino and Peter call it fixed text when it actually can be variable? Yes, good question. It's because in this context, fixed is the opposite of random, not the opposite of variable. Okay, so we're going to put in the real first name field @last name, because our last name field, the Timestone last name field, has got the first names in there. Okay. Uncheck that. So in the real first name field, fill it with what's in the field called at last name. Boom. Okay. And we'll do it for the other one as well. In the last name field, fill it with what's in the first name field. Cool. This is good because now we've got backup too. In case we stuff it up, we've got the names in two different places. All right. So now we do it again in reverse. We go edit, populate field. So now the first name field, the proper first name field, we want to fill it with data that is in, you guessed it, at real FN. The field called real FN has got the first names. And we want to overwrite. Be careful. Yes, we do. Okay. And now we'll do it for the last name fields. Edit, populate field, fill the real last name field with the data that's in, the proper last name field with the data that's in at real last name. Bang. Now we've flipped it around. Once we're done, we can go to edit fields and delete these temporary fields. Voila. Voila. We have flipped that data around of having to re-import the text files. Okay. Mark, if I was wearing a hat, I'd take my hat off for you for thinking of that.
Well, I have to actually tip my hat to a customer.
Okay.
It shows how much we learned from you guys.
Yeah,
the customer showed me how to do that.
Absolutely. Yep. Good-o.
But it's good. It's good.
Yeah. And you can make use of that in other ways, but I just wanted to really let you know that fixed text field can take variable data without codes. That can be useful in lots of ways. Copying the key to another field if you want to do that, for whatever reason. All right, back to that job. Okay. You see some of our subjects have got hashtag yes against them because they'd ordered, other people don't. So let's, I did upload it, didn't I? Yeah, I was uploading as we were talking.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So let's choose someone first who has not ordered. Anybody really? Like I said, I ran out of clever keys, so we'll Control K that one. Okay, so they're just seeing the normal packages. There's no gift package. They're not seeing the graduation package because they're not in grade 6. Straight up, okay? Let's get a key for somebody who has ordered. Any one of these guys will do. Control K. Oh, I was going to say note the prices on the packages, but let's take that as a given. Okay, Reagan has ordered. The gift package is offered to them, as well as a snippet to tell them how great we are for giving them a free gift package. And hopefully they'll act on that while they're here, because those prices are less. They can get the premium package at $49 now. Whatever. You could set up your offer to have all sorts of extra goodies that they weren't offered the first time. But the key thing is we use that condition to present a package to only the people who had ordered in the past, and to display the snippet, and to change the prices. A few things coming together now. You could go further with a shipping option if you wanted, all that sort of stuff. That's how we use that one. Any questions? Do you like that? Will you use it?
Yes, and no questions.
Yeah. Remember, Now, when we go back to the first guy, I mean, I need to point out the flaws in it too, or the shortcomings. There's some obvious ones, like if I go back to looking at somebody who hasn't ordered, if they're coming on for the first time. Okay, yeah, this guy. See, it's $65 instead of $49. If he orders now and tomorrow comes back to order again, it doesn't know that he's ordered now. This is only working because in the data we've got hashtag yes against his order. Okay, it doesn't know that he has ordered since we uploaded this job. You would have to keep uploading every time, re-uploading every time someone ordered to keep it up to date. But that's not really the motivation for doing this. This was more for, let's reward the people who pre-ordered. Let's reward and incentivize them to come back to the site to claim their free gift and maybe order some more. In reality, we'd hope that there are very few people that would be coming to the site for the first time to order. But so that's the limitation in that for any subsequent orders, it won't know about them until you download them, get them into the job, put the hashtag yes against them and refresh the job back up. So you need to be aware of that. I'm not hiding that fact. I'm just making it that obvious to you. Okay. If there's no question of that, we'll move on to the last example.
One question.
Yeah.
At some point, would it be possible, since online does know about online orders,
yeah,
to put a condition in where it's just has ordered online and have it automatically check?
Has ordered in the past. There's already one in there for that session, right? But we need it to look, if you perhaps ordered yesterday or the week before or the month before.
If this subject has any orders against
we Peter and I have spoken about this. Again, if this is one of these things that will get widely used, we can make it easier for you. When you upload the job, there'd be something, I don't know, somewhere in here would be an option, and you put a condition here against that, and then that becomes active when you uploaded the job. You said, okay, check to see if each subject has ordered, and it could look at it. It needs to look at both. It needs to look at whether there's paper orders, and it needs to look. It will know if there's already online orders downloaded, and then it needs to keep going and look at any current orders on the site, which may not have been downloaded yet. So it's got to look at 3 places. But if it is something that people will use a lot of, we can make it easier so you don't have to work with the data. So forget about that has ordered column. You won't have to put hash yes. It will just inherently know who has ordered by whatever method. But we're not going to do that work unless there's a good demand for it, because that is a bit of work. But it's doable.
So we're getting guesses.
Yeah.
But and one person is pointing out the fields, but they're system fields: fulfill, pre-order, and order have data in them, but those are not part of what is uploaded. That's the distinction.
Yeah, and we also want to know if they've ordered by paper.
Right, but at order, I mean, if you could just put in at order and it would look if they had an order, but you can't look at those fields because those are not subject fields that get uploaded.
Yeah, but Mark, the other complication with that, you haven't thought about if the job gets taken down. If the job gets taken down, all the orders that were on the site disappear, right? No,
I mean the system fields in your job.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep.
Not online, because you're right. Once the job gets taken down, those disappear on our server, but they're still in your job historically.
Yeah, obviously we know at the job level who has an order against them. That's easy.
Right.
We need to then account for any orders that are online for that subject which aren't in the job. That will save you having to upload and refresh the job each time if that's where you want to go. But
right.
That's not there yet. If we get to that point, yeah, sure, when we talk about designing it. This will work right here and now the way I showed you, okay?
And One very clever customer must have noticed earlier when you were clicking around that there is a session shoot key has been ordered for condition.
Yes.
Wants to know what that's for.
Well, that's been there forever and a day, I think.
That's just in one session,
That's
right?
in that session, yeah. Because I could be ordering for lots of different keys, with lots of different keys, lots of different kids.
Right.
Yeah, it knows
And then
that
come
you
back.
placed an order for one of those keys. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. But you're right. We could have a condition in there that checks any orders for a given subject. It gets a little bit murky and complicated. You've got issues like identify ordering where you haven't really got subjects yet. It's not as simple as you may first think.
No, you're right. It almost has to look at the job fields, not the job, not the online historical record. Okay. Now, other than that, everybody's liking it very much.
It's a good one. It will do. For now, it will do. And if it gets you a few extra orders, if it gets you a few extra bucks, it's not much skin off your teeth to prepare the job to do that. You know. Speaking of getting a few extra bucks for you, this is actually a real case study of what someone has wanted to do here in Australia, but hasn't been able to do without this condition. Right. Where do I start with this one? Because it's a little bit more complicated. Okay. The case study is this. The photographer wants to try to get more people back on the site for getting those extra little reorders if possible. And he wants to do that by forcing them to go back to their site to claim their digital download. So anyone who has pre-ordered a digital download, again, by paper order, identify ordering, or subject key ordering, that may have happened days, weeks before the photography. When the photos are delivered, or when they're shipped back to school, they'll have a little something. 5.7 and an A5 that says to claim a digital product, go to our site, enter your key, which is then their shoot key, and get your digital download. And at the same time, hopefully they'll order some more. That's one motivation. The other motivation is this. When I don't know how big a deal this is in other parts of the world, but it's becoming a little bit that's not what I want. Back to the site. There's a privacy issue with, for example, identify ordering. Many schools here in Australia anyway are now 100% online, and many of those, if not all of them, are 100% identify. So everybody has the same key. Everybody can go on and order with that same key. That's how identify ordering works, and you put in the names of who you're ordering for. We know that. We did it last week. We've done it before. The privacy concern is this. Take me, for example. There may be court orders, injunctions, restriction orders against me that I am not allowed to have any photos of my child, for example, or I may be one of those really special people. I'm not allowed near any children at all. There's nothing to stop me going in here and putting in my daughter's name, placing a digital order for her, and then I'll get her digital file, automatically, even though there's an injunction against me doing it. Now, you may say, well, what's the difference to you ordering printing products? Well, true, but the printing products, there's a few steps involved in that. You download the orders, they get printed, perhaps with an order header, they go back to school. There's a few steps involved between me ordering and me getting the prints that I'm not really allowed to have. But the automatic nature of digital downloads, of digital ordering, is fulfilled. We have that, I could get that digital file before anyone knows about it. So the photographer wants to potentially eliminate that potential privacy issue to stop people getting those digital files. And they do that by the same way that we hopefully get some more money out of people. If they order a digital product, they don't get it automatically. They get it delivered. They get a piece of paper delivered to the school with the rest of their printed products, for example, and it will say, go back to the site, use your key. And me being, wanted by the police, I'm not going to be getting that. I'm not going to be putting in my address in the first place. So we can kill those two birds with the one stone. I hope people understand the scenario, the basis of that case study, those two things. We'll do that with that sexy new field. I've got the job open. I'm calling it digital reclaim. Again, I've got orders. They're all pre-orders here. Some people have ordered, some people haven't. Some people have ordered digital. My package codes that have a digital product have got hashtag dig in them. So it's easy for me to know which ones have got a digital product. Okay, there's that one, that one. So these two packages have got digital products. But, and here's the but, and this is what they will see when they pre-order. That digital product in there is not a digital file. It's not a digital file. It's actually a 5x7 print that says, claim your digital product. Go back to your site. Here is your key. That's what will get printed the first time when they order PK1. And when they order PK4, they get this digital product. And in fact, I've already downloaded those orders. And if we go to the queue, I'll show you. You're right down the bottom. So these are all the orders that are already in. Here's an example. So anyone who's ordered PK1 or PK4, for example, this is what they get. They don't get the digital file. They'll get that piece of paper delivered with the rest of their prints. Visit the site, put in there, and then they get their digital product and hopefully order a little bit more at the same time. So how do we go from here? We go back to here. Now we can't use that fancy sorting technique. I can't just put in PK either. I need to find anyone who's ordered. Let me just enlarge that for you. I need to find anyone who's ordered the digital. Now, luckily, my packages are very cleverly named with the hashtag dig for anyone who's ordered the digital. Okay. So now by putting that hashtag dig in the search, I've limited it to just the people who have ordered at least one package that has hashtag dig in it. That's easy. Now I can select them all, go to Populate Field. I've got a field in there called has dig, and I will put in there one. I think it's one. Let me just check what I need to put in from the condition. I can't remember if it was one or hashtag yes. One, yeah, okay. Selected only. Now, as part of our data, we know who has ordered digital. There's people who have ordered more, but these are the ones that have ordered digital. I upload that job. While it's uploading, we'll look at that. We'll look at that condition. The climax of this is fast approaching, guys, so hang in there a little bit longer. Okay, let that upload. Let's have a look at this condition. So the condition has dig, has digital order by any method, again, paper or online. Okay, we're looking at this new best friend, shoot entity field, where the subject field has dig contains number 1 in there. I'll explain what this second half does when we come to it. It's optional, but it's handy too. It's basically to stop people ordering multiple copies of it. Okay, so our condition is looking at the field has dig, and it's going to look at whether it's got a 1 in there. Easy as. Let's, is it finished uploading? Not yet. Now I did type some keys down here. I've got them in front of me, so to save a bit of time going back and forth to the job. Mark, I apologise to you for keeping you late. I know you've got a birthday to go to.
I can't complain if Matt's still with us.
Yes, but he's sleeping.
I am still there.
There you go. There you go. It's 2:11 in Paris.
Okay. All right. So first I'm going to order for somebody who did not order digital. I already have their key. Trust me, this particular person did not order a digital product before. Okay, nothing special about there. There's just the normal packages. Let me just check, please. Just bear with me. Yep. Okay. They're the packages I wanted. Deluxe, traditional budget. Just made sure you checked, had the right offer. Let me order now for somebody who did order a digital product, pre-order a digital product. They've now come back to the site, and when they go in, okay, she gets that to receive your digital file, and nobody else does. She can hit that add to cart. When she does, she sees a nice snippet. That package then disappeared, and it disappeared because of that extra little bit of code we put into that extra parameter we put into the condition, and she can now check out, but hopefully she'll order something else. And we'll have a look at one more key for that particular job. This particular person has multiple poses, okay, and because there's more than one image, they're showing now. She pre-ordered digital, so she can choose whichever pose she wants. Okay, add to cart. That package disappeared. It was replaced by another one. Because I can hear what Becca was saying. Oh man, but I don't want her to be able to order all of them for free. So again, by extra parameters on your condition, you can have that, and against the package, you can have that package disappear and be replaced by another one. So they can order her other poses too, but they're going to be at $29. So if I add that to the cart, that's taking it a little bit further. All right. And I happen to choose the same pose, which is silly. But yeah, so we killed two birds with that one stone. Forgetting the multiple poses, for example, because again, this photographer in Australia and most Australian photographers only shoot one pose for their school photography, so this extra bit is a bit irrelevant. But if we go back to the person who had just one image, no, treasure. That was treasure. Okay. He sees it because she pre-ordered a digital image a month ago. Add to cart, it now disappears, replaces by the snippet. The reason it disappeared is twofold. You see, we put in an extra parameter for that session now, for that particular session, not the shoot, but for the session. When that digital reclaim package is in the cart, okay, we've added that parameter, check to see whether it's in the cart. So as soon as she hits in add to cart, and we've got not, so that condition becomes not true, because for that condition to be true, okay, they have to have had hasdig in their data back in Neopack, and they have to have not yet added it to the cart. As soon as they add it to the cart, this bit throws up its hands and says, aha, it's no longer true that that thing is not in the cart, so therefore the condition becomes false and the package disappears. It disappears because we have got the condition in here as well. That's why it was there to begin with, not there once we added it to the cart. So we are bringing a few things together in this last example. So those 4 or 5 case studies are all showing you the power, I think, of defining a condition that looks at individual subject data. I think we've opened up a can of worms, and the world is your oyster, and whatever other metaphors we want to come up with. With that, I will ask for questions one more time, and we are done.
Yes, it's a session thing. One person's pointing out they could place multiple orders and potentially get all the poses.
Yes, indeed. that multiple poses things I added at the end, and then it was late as last night. I'm thinking, oh yeah, but they could go through, place the order, check out, come back, start again, and get a different pose each time. I don't know
if somebody's
around that. I don't know
if somebody's trying to steal from you that bad, you're probably not going to stop them.
I have time to think about it. There may be a way of doing that, preventing that. The case study wasn't needed because that particular photographer only shoots one pose.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you could block them and have that freebie always pick, have a particular pose, like the yearbook pose, the main image, for example, and that's always going to be their freebie, and then they have to pay for the others. They're probably not going to be happy with that, but you could do it that way.
Yeah. Otherwise, no more questions. Everybody has been very positive with these things. They like them a lot.
Yeah. They're goodies. I mean, the three biggies, which was on our to-do list, which we got done, which we were going to show in June anyway, were the conditional delivery options, the variable data and snippets, turning off customization at the product level, the granular turning off of customization at the product level. We did that. A few more conditions went in there. Revamping on orders mode together with that deferred payment is sort of what's next, along with some other bits and pieces. Whenever we have something new that will warrant a webinar, we'll do it as on the fly. We won't wait. We'll just do them as they come along. So I don't know.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Mm-hmm. But you can have this one now. Like I said, email me or email Mark saying, yes, I would like to go to 3.1. And we can do that for you as of tomorrow. And remember, you just need those apps if you want to use those conditions against delivery options. And Neopack if you want to use that selective Populate Field.
One person quickly wanted to know what happened to the terms and condition check that we used to have in iOS 2.
Oh, yeah.
Where they have to agree.
Well, true. What I've seen people do is on this page, have a snippet. It is a condition by entering into this site, by continuing on this site, you agree to our terms and conditions.
By entering your shoot key.
Yeah, and then they have the terms and conditions in the help menu. It's not an explicit checkbox, I agree, but they are at least putting that in there right at the beginning.
Yeah, because we no longer have the terms and conditions checkbox.
Not the checkbox. You can make your own terms and conditions as a topic and put them in the help menu, but there's no checkbox, and you can certainly alert them to the terms and conditions with the with a snippet.
Right. Yep.
Like a cookies message. I've seen cookies messages where I have to accept. I've seen cookies messages that tell me by continuing you are accepting cookies. I don't have a choice. Right. Yeah.
And I have no clue of the legality of any of that. But otherwise, people are thanking and saying the webinars are great. And keep going.
Well, thanks for your endurance, guys, because we went over 2 hours. Which, but we did well. We went through some good examples, I think. Remember, these examples are just that, examples. It's the concepts that I wanted to get around to you. You don't necessarily have to do free shipping with data or as ordered or any of that. They're just examples of how you might use them, but of course you modify them to how you want them, just to get you thinking. And sometimes you think in reverse. If you want to have a particular objective, then you may want to think about a condition or whatever to get you to that objective. Other times you may see a condition, think, oh, how can I use that? And work that in that direction. So, yeah, you'll get used to it. It takes time. Just like you guys got used to the software, and you know how to make templates. It's just another skill set to learn. And the more you learn, the more you work with it, the more comfortable it releases your neurons in your brain to be creative. The more comfortable you get with the software, the more creative you'll get with it. No other questions, comments? Anybody want to turn on their microphone and say anything?
No other questions, and I think I'm going to duck out because I do have a birthday to get to.
Indeed.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. And thank you, everybody. I will, like I said, email me about the updates. We're not going to update people unless you ask. Not now anyway, not to begin with. So if you want the update, email us, and then just stay tuned for the next one.
As Dino says,
pardon?
As Dino says, bye for now.
Yeah. Bye for now. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe, stay well. Hope to see you soon, which is not going to happen. So hope to speak to you soon. All right. I'm out of here too. See yous. I'm out of here as soon as I know how to get out of here. How do I stop this? If anybody's still listening, and probably Jacob, Ken, Dave is left. One of the things I forgot to mention, I should have, was the new set of apps, the Neo packs, the Neo apps are compatible for you guys who are managing your own database. They're compatible with MySQL 8. So that's something to keep in mind next time you build a server. That's something the rest of the people don't need to worry about because we pretty much manage it for you. But we are now MySQL 8 compatible. So Ken, you're still there, and Jacob, you're still there. Oh, good. Yeah, because you're probably, and Eric, you're probably left. But there's only a few of you who manage your own servers. So maybe tread carefully with them. The reason they were incompatible was simply queries had to be changed. There were certain terms and words which became reserved in MySQL 8, notably one called group. And you can imagine we have a lot of queries that use group. So we had to change some of the queries. We think we've caught them all. I've been using MySQL 8 myself. Everything I've been showing you in the last 2 weeks have been MySQL 8. I've been using it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I haven't had a MySQL error for a long time. But there may be something we missed. Was it equally performant to MySQL to 5.6? Don't know, Jacob, because I'm not a good stressor for the software. Just not putting enough stress on it to know the difference. In theory, it's supposed to be better with memory. Yeah, better utilization of memory. We will be building a new iOS server for the Aussie server shortly, and that will have MySQL 8 on it as well. Yeah. I have no idea what reverse indexes are, but if they're slick, I take your word for it. All right. Okay. All right, guys, I'm out of here too. I badly need coffee and have a rest, and I've got to rescue some people. And yeah, just let me know when you're ready to update. Yeah, keep your ear to the ground. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, anybody else who's still out there in listener land. I still don't know how to quit. I really don't know how to quit. There's got to be a quit button. Turn it on and off again. All right. Is this serious? Exit. There we go. Exit, leave webinar, exit, end webinar. I'm ending. Bye for now.